You know, about 2.5 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, me, Chris Knight, Onzo, Biggaford Entertainment, we all came together. 3 different cats, one vision to make Khaos Central the best YouTube channel on the planet. Here's one of our stories. Oh yeah, let's go.
Is there any stuff?
Khaotic Conversation is the name of the show. The first Monday of the month is the time that I go on here and bring you the heat. I got your bob in your head. You're gonna hear it repeat and be like, hey yo, is that Danny? He's an X-Man now, cause that flow is uncanny. No, I'm just a topic debater. I'm just an intro maker. Ain't no one greater. It's Monday night. It's 9 o'clock. Sit back, relax. It's gonna get hot. So, without further ado, the conversation is ready. Let's make it do what it do. Peace. Khaos Central is the channel. Khaotic Conversation is the show. Come catch me, comment, chat, Chris Knight, and Onzo. Peace.
What up, what up, what up, what up? This is the Khaotic Conversation. The usual crew is not fully in the house. 2 of them's under the weather. That'd be my man Onzo and my main man Chris Knight. They're not feeling too well tonight. So me and Mr. Guyscar are going to be the dynamic duo and take over the show tonight and do what we're going to do. So how's everybody doing?
We're doing good. Doing great, man. Bad the group can't be together. It's always fun when chaos is all together there. Yeah. But man, I hope they feel better soon.
Yeah. As always, Danny Land's in the chat. We definitely appreciate it. Happy New Year to you, Danny Land. DQ's always in the house. Thank you. Appreciate it. Tony Brown, my boy. I work with my co-workers, one of my best friends. He's in the chat. Appreciate it. You got 3 topics today, and one was what we broached last night on Storm's Live. If you haven't watched that, Robert Storm comes on Sundays, usually at about 10 o'clock every Sunday night. But I think he's going to change that, which will suit me and Guyscar fine because
I'm ready.
10 o'clock on a Sunday night is kind of rough. But hey, we dedicate to the show. He's a friend of ours, so definitely check him out. But last night we talked about the MCU, and we're going to not take too long on this, but the question I want to pose is the MCU. Has it spoiled us with phase 1, 2, and 3, starting with Iron Man and ending with Endgame and all that connective tissue and stuff? And my question is, can we go back to non-connective superhero movies, or do we even want to? My thing is, I don't mind if the story is good. And the example I'm going to give you is this last Aquaman. While it was a continuation of the first Aquaman, it is not going to connect to anything. It's just going to drop because management, the owners now are choosing not to even follow up that storyline. So whatever we saw those years back and whatever we saw in the DCEU is going to be pretty much blown up and tossed in the trash. But I like Aquaman. Some people didn't. They said it was a nothing burger. That's their opinion. But one thing I always judge a movie when I walk out of a movie, I always ask, did I feel like I wasted my money? I did not feel like I wasted my $11 on Aquaman. In fact, I enjoyed it. Some aspects better than the first one. But my main question is, and that's just the example. No, it's not an MCU example, but my question is, has MCU spoiled us? Because prior to Iron Man and starting the MCU, there was a lot of just one-hit superhero movies. Of course, there was Superman 1 and 2 kind of tied, but 3 really didn't. 4 really didn't. So, and then the Spider-Mans 1 and 2, they kind of sort of connected and stuff. There kind of was some kind of canon in there. But for the most part, some of these superhero movies were just different stories. Like the X-Men, they were like different stories. Some of them had a little bit of connective tissue, but not a lot. It was just like their one-off movie. So I'm cool with it. Do I like the way the MCU's format with connecting stuff and doing the end scene credits? It's pretty fire. But sometimes things run its course. Sometimes there's a season for everything. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think you touched it right there. I think everything's a fad. Everything has a beginning and an expiry date. And they set the bar up so high with their story connectivity that was never done before. And they did it so well. And just to think about it, though, when they started, they were like directors and stuff that people didn't really know, right? Like they weren't really out there. And once everybody wanted a piece of the cake, let's be honest, phase 1, 2, 3. At the end of phase 3, you started seeing some, it wasn't as strong, but Endgame was, that's it. The conclusion was great. And where do you take it from there, right? But throughout, you see now all these superhero movies are not doing well anymore in the theater. They're not bringing in those billions of dollars, with the exception of No Way Home, right? That was an anomaly. That's what they're calling it, the anomaly of what it was, because of the nostalgia of the other two Spider-Mans that we haven't seen in years on the screen. But I think you're right. Like what you said before, everything has a phase. And I think that this phase of superhero movies racking in the big bucks, be it DC, be it Marvel, it's done. I don't think we're gonna get those anomalies once in a while, but I don't think we're gonna get what we had before. Not even close, because they damaged their brand with what they were, with what they were trying to pushing. And not only that, the stories aren't as strong. And like we mentioned it before in multiple other streams, like the end credit scenes that we got movies, they didn't connect to anything. Shang-Chi's end credit scene with Wong, where did that go? Absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, the one with Eternals is not paying off, or hasn't paid off yet, especially the Star Fox or the Silver Fox, whatever his name is.
Right.
But there is potential for the Blade, which I hope.
Oh, absolutely.
But
absolutely.
The Star Fox storyline, I don't know where that's going to. I haven't seen anything. What's up, Nick?
Yeah. And the thing also that you said, right? Standalone superhero movie, could it do well? I believe so.
Yeah, I think
I believe it can do well. Like, Wonder Blade, when it came out, right? That was supposed to be a standalone one movie. It did absolutely well that they gave it 2 other ones.
Yep. First 2 were good, third one not so much. But I think that's in everything. There doesn't have to be a trilogy. There doesn't have to be. There's nothing in concrete to say you got to have a movie that connects to the other one. Is it good? Like, for instance, Predator. First Predator really didn't connect to the second Predator. There were some similarities, but it was in a different. One's in the jungle, one's in the city, then one's on a different planet. They had the same character, but different storylines. So I think you can have that same thing. I think you can have a Superman movie that doesn't necessarily connect to the first Superman, or the first Spider-Man doesn't necessarily connect to the second, and so on and so forth. What's up, Coach Gabe? Another coworker, man, good friend. And I, as long as the story is good, I don't think that they have to necessarily connect. If they do, that is icing on the cake. If they're good and they connect, like Endgame did, then that's the cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake. But I don't think that superhero movies, or any movie for that matter, has to automatically connect to the other one. I'll give you an example. Like this Rebel Moon, is it part 1, part 2? Then of course, they should, common sense, they should interconnect. They should have connective tissue. But if it's just a Star Wars movie, it don't have to be a trilogy. To me, it doesn't. Especially now that the original Star Wars was 9 episodes, 9 books. So we saw 9 of those. Most people like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Not so much 7, 8, 9. Now they don't have to do that format now. They can do something totally different. They could do one Star Wars come out, it could be the Old Republic. They could do another one that could be another the Sith. Or they could do another one that could be a different part of the galaxy. They can even create whole new Jedi and Sith that we never heard of. So right now the canvas is blank. They just got to try and just maybe tap into some of this. Just what Kathleen Kennedy said, there's no source material. They got to tap into some of the source material, and then they could develop stories. They could cherry pick and do things that are fire. Just make sure that whatever they pick stays canon and true, because if something in one movie doesn't match with the other one, then there's going to be these critics out here say, oh, that's not canon, blah, 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 blah. And I've gone, you can go back and watch my videos. I looked up canon. Canon mainly refers to biblical things, biblical terms like the Bible. That can't be rewritten. But it's always been my argument, and I'm going to down this hill. If I own something, I can change it as many times as I want to.
Yeah, that's where you got the term decanonize, right?
So, I mean, that's just my 2 cents on that.
No, I get it. A lot of the times, it's like we said, we were like really spoiled with those first 3 phases, and it's also Marvel, it's also comic books and stuff like that, and the books, everything was interconnected, and people want to get that in live action, right? And they expect that in live action after the first 3 phases. But the thing is, after a killer story like they gave us, right, the death of Tony Stark, you know,
Yes.
is where do you go from there? Like in point of, wow factor, right? Like what story do you build up that they can do?
Yeah, there's a question
Without the
I had.
Russo brothers and stuff like that, which they did a hell of a great, run at the Marvel movies.
I agree with you 1,000%. And a question I wanted to pose, I know it's this hashtag going around, hashtag recast T'Challa.
Mhm.
And I'm saying, and one a good friend of mine, and check out his channel, Fatal J, he was like, and also, God, I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Mark?
No. The hashtag Recala champion. You know him. Oh, God. Why am I drawing a blank on cat? Chillmonger. Sorry, Chill.
Okay.
Chill has been a proponent of this. I think also Mark with a C. But I'm saying, how would they bring him back since he's already dead? And Fatal said, well, we didn't see him die on camera, but it's implied that he died. So if we bring back T'Challa now, then what's the difference between bringing back Tony? And I heard some people say if we bring back Tony, then that's going to make the story, it's really going to kill Endgame and stuff. It's not going to make it important as well. So if we already seen T'Challa died, I don't see how we can bring him back other than through his son. They can fast forward. His son could grow up, be in his 20s, whatever, challenging Baku for the crown, and then he becomes T'Challa. And if we make 2 or 3 good movies, we'll forget all about Chadwick Boseman, T'Challa. Yeah. I hate to say that, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful tone, but
well, forget's a strong word, right?
I think we'll never forget him, but I think it'll go down a whole lot easier if they get a good actor, popular actor now. He's killing it as T'Challa, killing it as Black Panther. I think that would make the recast T'Challa fan base more forgiving of not replacing him or recasting.
Okay, I guess what you're saying. You're saying if the next like the recast with the child and they bring a movie with him.
Bringing him back from the dead, I don't see how they can do that without.
No, they ruined it with Wakanda Forever by doing that storyline. Absolutely.
But I'm thinking they still can recreate it. I still think they can make an omelet out of these cracked eggs if they grow the son faster. He's not going to have the heart-shaped herb because he's already in his blood naturally. And he is the next Black Panther, and they get a dynamic actor, and he take over the mantle. He come and challenges M'Baku for the throne, and he takes it over, and he's coming in there, and he's doing things. I think that could work. And I think in 1 or 2 movies, that would make the recast T'Challa crowd satisfied. I just think it would.
Man, that would be. That's wishful thinking, I think, Danny. But I get what you're saying, that you would love to see it succeed, and I think that's what everybody wants deep down, right? But
to me, it did succeed. I have no problem with Wakanda Forever. I have no problem with it. And some people say, well, we don't want to see Shuri as. Okay, you can't take both sides. Shuri is not Black Panther. There is a comic book storyline where she is Black Panther. So that's not nothing that they pull out their butt. Maybe people want to say it's some kind of gender base. I don't know about a female being the lead. I don't know. But there is there is material that backs it up. It's not like Star Wars where they created Rey or they created Reva or they created these females that we never heard of to be these lead actresses in these main compelling stories. This is something that is in the comic books. It's something that did happen in the comic books. Maybe it happened before they wanted to it, or they didn't plan it as well as they should have or wanted to because of the untimely death of Chadwick Boseman. But it is something that is not made up. Whether or not you like Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa, Black Panther better than Shuri's, that's up to you. That's subjective. But this is something that was not just pulled out of somebody's butt and say, oh, let's throw this on here. No, it's actually what people love to talk about is canon. So I just don't think you can't people go back and forth and stuff, you gotta stay on one side or the other. Or I try to stay as down the middle as humanly possible.
Yeah, but this thing is the significance what that first movie was, right?
Yeah.
It was a historical movie.
I agree.
So the thing is that they feel like that character was more important than the actor that was playing it. So they wanted that person, that character, to be able to move on and continue at that same level. And the choices the studio did was on a personal level, trying to give homage to the actor.
How do we know that Chad Boseman didn't want that?
We don't. We don't know.
How do we know that they're honoring his wishes? How do they know? Say, how about if he said, "Well, I won't give me 2 years." I think there was interview. I've never seen an interview about it. I want to see that. If it is, and they said that for a fact, whatever, one way or the other, then
that he wanted the character to be there for anybody else,
or he may have said, "Look, let's try and give Miss Wright. I think Petita. I can't think of her first name. Let's give her opportunity to Shuri. Maybe that was something that was pitched or something. And he gave his blessing. Was it rushed? I don't know. It could have been better, most definitely, but we don't know what the conversation was. We don't know whether they had something. We don't know whether or not this was Plan B. And then sometimes when it's money and stuff, and the iron is striking hot, you got to go with Plan B, even though Plan B is nowhere near as good as Plan A. Plan A was always going to be Chadwick Boseman, no doubt in my mind. But didn't know he had that illness. And
what was the numbers of Wakanda Forever?
$860-something million. It was just
not bad.
It was like $150 million away from $1 billion. So to me, that is. I mean, people are like, but then it cost this, and Chill broke down all this, and this. I no. I see worldwide 865 million. That's the number I'm going with.
859 million.
Yes. So to me, that's 141 million shy of 141 million shy of $1 billion. So in my mind, that's a success. Yeah. Charles Mitchell said, I hope you guys are well. We're doing well, sir. Thank you for the comments. DQ said, I watched some of the Secret Invasion first 2 episodes. Fury lost some of his fire, not the rocket launcher wielding badass from the Avengers. He's a little step behind, but I thought he gained his mojo, and I really thought that was going to be the best Disney Plus series until that last episode. They did not stick the landing. It was like,
crash the burn on that last one.
What did you do? Yeah. With T'Challa, the difference is he wasn't meant to die in service of the story, so his also is differently. A variant of him showing up in Secret Wars, who world was destroyed, taken in by the MCU. Gotcha. DQ, hi, Gascar, go expose.
Whatever.
Basically, a happy version of Spider-Man 2099 story from across the Spider-Verse. My advice to Gunn, if he's trying to roll the dice with a shared universe and it's a gamble right now, be prepared. You're probably correct. I'm still enjoying the Marvel movies and series. That's good.
Man, that's great. If people are enjoying it, that's great. Yeah. Honestly,
I'm a little excited about Echo. It looks like it's gonna be. If it's gonna be more like a Netflix darker version, I think I'm gonna dig it. But I'm gonna be waiting to hold.
Breaks out tomorrow.
Yep. Next, we'll transition into the Cat Williams Shannon Sharp interview.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
I know this is not normally things you watch on here, but this is pop culture, and I'm trying to 2024. I'm trying to do a little bit of everything. We start off with MCU. We're gonna go to a little bit of pop culture, then we're gonna pop back on MCU, and it's gonna be our main 3 topics. Right. But I want to show you a part of this. Not excited about Echo, but I did enjoy most of What If series. I did the last 4 I enjoyed What If. The first ones was like, feeling at first.
Worried.
The last 3 or 4 was on point.
I was worried for those 2, the first 2 there, but after one, it got good. It got good. Not as strong as the first season, but yeah.
Yeah, it picked up some steam.
Yeah,
it finished strong. Last episode was fire. I think, given how he saved his life, Zemo would be affected by T'Challa's death. Him going to Wakanda, taking the herb, speaking to him or his deceased family, deciding to help Avengers could be cool. I ain't feeling Baron Zero at all, bro.
No.
Not in that capacity.
Taking the herb? No.
Okay. About a week ago, Club Shay Shay, if you don't know him, he's Shannon Sharp, was the former co-host of a sports TV show that I love. You once loved, called Undisputed. Used to be a former pro tight end for the Broncos and the Baltimore Ravens. He has his own podcast called Club Shay Shay, and he invited one of the hottest comedians in America by the name of Cat Williams, and Cat Williams went in deep on several well-known comedians. Cedric the Entertainer, he went deep in on Steve Harvey, he went in on Ricky Smiley, Kevin Hart, and there was one part where he was talking about, if you remember the movie Friday After Next, and it's iconic for those of you that watched that genre movie, that he was known as Money Mike. And Money Mike was a pimp. He had a lady, and he didn't really treat the lady all that good, but there was another guy by the name of Damon who was Terry Crews, and Terry Crews liked to mess with men because he just got out of prison, and when he saw Money Mike, he was definitely attracted to and infatuated.
What movie was that?
Friday After Next.
Okay.
And anyway, they go to this Christmas party, and Damien corners Money Mike in the restroom. Let me see if I can pull up that clip. Then it kind of it'll set the tone. It'll set the tone.
I don't remember this movie.
Money, I'll probably get.
Oh, if you pause it.
Money Mike, Damon scene.
Money Mac. Cat Williams.
Go home. You ever been to the pen?
Hell no. Thanks for asking. Well, about to asking you though. Craig? Yeah. Why you bathroom that player? Got to piss like a Russian racehorse at the Kentucky Derby with a glue truck behind him.
He's checking him out up and down.
Got to be Diddy. I can get it on.
Don't piss on the seat.
The MX playing it.
Busy right now, working with a monster.
You know what this is. Wake your bitch ass up, Lucky Charms. I like my fish wet and squirming.
I thought I was dreaming. You almost drowned me, nigga.
It's a wet dream.
Wait a minute, I'm a pimp. Lost your mind. Hold on, Tyler. Step down. Bishop. You got a line of ball. You was just gonna take it, wasn't you? You thought I was pimping, didn't you, huh? Say something. Huh?
I was playing with you, dog. I was playing, man, okay? I'm a nice guy. You get to know me.
What are you talking about? I'm a boy. You are not in prison anymore, David. That's not how we do it. Say no. Just take it, no.
Now, that is called
yeah.
Friday After Next. And if you haven't seen that movie, it is fantastic. That was one of the things that set
2002.
Cat Williams on his road to success. Anyway, there's another part of there where it's a clown played by another comedian by the name of Ricky Smiley. And Ricky Smiley is going around in a clown suit stealing from different people. And so when Cat Williams came on the show with Shannon Sharp, he said that Ricky Smiley lied because Ricky Smiley was on the show previous before him and said that he was auditioning for Money Mike. And Cat Williams was like, nah, that ain't happened. I'm Money Mike, da-da-da-da. So this is the part where I want to show. And then when I first originally saw this, I said that they should get Ice Cube, who directed the show, wrote the show, whatever.
Yeah, he did the
and edited the
screenplay.
show to definitely set the record straight. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the conversation with Cat Williams on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp. And we'll hear what he says.
Come here and disrespect you in your face and tell you straight up lies. I'm talking about things that have never been heard in all of Black Hollywood. They feel comfortable sitting here and lying to you about it.
You gonna set the record straight?
Are you kidding me? You let Ricky Smiley sit here and you said out that mouth, you stole Friday After Next, the one I was in. I wish all of America fumbled a bit when that happened. And then he said some stuff that we haven't heard in 100 years in Hollywood. You ain't say nothing. This man told you he had Cat Williams' role. He was gonna be Money Mike.
Wait.
And Cat Williams was gonna be the Santa Claus. Now let's 3 quick points.
3 quick.
You mean in Hollywood they cast a 5'5" black Santa Claus that weigh 145 pounds? That's your story. Your story is the Ricky Smiley that couldn't even do curse words because he had a Christian fan base. He was gonna play the pimp. Why you didn't ask him why has he played a woman in more movies than he's played a man?
Well, I didn't know
He shouldn't be able. You wouldn't let a.
Okay.
Damn.
That right there, Cat Williams calls out Ricky Smiley. And Ricky Smiley was supposed to have played Money
Pimp.
Mike, which is the pimp that you saw in the previous clip. Shannon Sharp like to say, I don't know. He came in here and said he played it, so I'm assuming he's playing it. So, what I said when I originally saw this, me and I was talking, I said, we need to get Ice Cube because Ice Cube can set this record straight. And so what I did today, I pulled up Ice Cube, and Ice Cube sets the record straight.
So who was lying and who was telling the truth?
Yes.
Interesting. Oh, okay.
I didn't discover them. You know, they were doing their stand-up or doing their thing, and I knew that they were great and that they could act, and that
Why does it sound like he's in the library?
you know, if I have an opportunity,
I don't know.
gonna give them an opportunity. You know, to me, that's what it's all about. You know, as far as specific things, you know, Cat was 100 on a few things. Most of what he was saying, a couple things, you know, I just want to clarify. When we bring in a new, comedian, we do have them try out for different roles. So Ricky did give Money Mike a shot.
Okay.
But when we saw him,
So you heard that.
Yeah.
Ice Cube said that Ricky Smiley did give the Money Mike character a shot at it. But once once Cat Williams came there, Cat Williams outshone it, and then that's when they decided to make the switch to making Ricky Smiley the thief, Santa Claus, and Cat Williams Money Mike. Listen further on what Ice Cube says.
and we kind of saw how he moved and how he was, auditioning. We decided that he would be a better, Santa Claus, which was to me the perfect casting. When we saw Mike, damn, I call him Money Mike. When we saw Cat, when I saw him, I just knew that he was perfect for Money Mike. And Cat, said he wrote his role, which, the role was written, but he enhanced it. This is why Cat was so dope in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Money Mike had a small role, about as big as the Santa Claus role, but when we start filming, he was giving us such magic that we kept expanding his role and giving him more to do because he was on point. When we shoot these movies, for one, the scripts are fire, or they wouldn't even do it. The scripts are laugh out funny. But we shoot the script, but once we get what we need from the script, we let the comedians ad-lib, riff, play with the words, do their thing. We give them a take where they can, or two, three takes where they can go off and do what they feel. Sometimes it makes the movie, sometimes it don't. When somebody gives you jewels, you want to try to make sure that makes the movie.
So I wanted to show that because a lot of times things get misconstrued.
Yeah.
Cat Williams talked from a point of view where he believed that, and he came out there, and I don't know whether he checked his facts or not, because I don't know whether he called Cube or not. I don't know what the case is, and I'm not sitting here calling Cat Williams a liar because I'm not there. But there is a video where Ricky Smiley comes on the very next day on his radio show, and he says, look, I have no ill will towards Cat Williams. He said, but I did went out there and I did apply. I did went out there and auditioned for the Money Mike. And he said that up until the night before they was going to pull the trigger on filming, I had the role. And then they called me and said, hey, something happened. We're going to give you the Santa Claus role. Cat Williams is getting the Money Mike. And he said, and Ricky Smiley own words said, man, that was a fantastic deal because Cat Williams was better at Money Mike than he was. When I listened to Ricky Smiley before I found the Ice Cube today, I believed what Ricky Smiley said. He said, look, man, I ain't got no ill will towards Cat Williams. He said, look, in fact, I was in Atlanta in my F-150 pickup truck with my granddad. We were driving down the road. I saw Cat Williams walking down the crosswalk. I blew my horn up and said, hey, man, what's up? He said, man, I'm about to go in here to Starbucks, get me a coffee. Come in here and join me. Him and Cat Williams went in there, chop it up, man, was talking about it. Before they left, Ricky Smiley asked, hey, look, I got my granddad in the truck. He's a big fan of yours. Can you come out there and talk to my granddad? Cat Williams went out there, talked to his granddad, took a picture with him, hugged him, and chopped up with him a little bit. And his grandfather, Ricky Smiley's grandfather, said, look, man, you're doing an excellent job, young man. Keep doing what you're doing. Ricky Smiley said he thought everything was straight and squash. So why these X amount of years later, Cat Williams is doing all this stuff or saying all this stuff, I don't know. Apparently he didn't check his facts because Ice Cube clearly said it right there in black and white and live and living color that, hey, he did apply for it. So for that particular part,
do you think he was drinking too much? Was on that table?
I don't know. I think some like Ice Cube said and confirmed that a lot of what Cap was saying is 100. I believe a lot of what Cap was saying was 100, but I believe that sometimes when you're hurt or you see something, sometimes your truth doesn't always line up with the truth.
Gotcha.
So you're not gonna look at two different things, and you can see one thing, and then it can look true from a certain version. But then if you don't know all the facts and you kind of fill in the blanks, then sometimes your truth cannot be the exact truth. And in this particular scenario, I was looking for the exact truth. And when I first heard this, I said, I wish I could see Ice Cube and Ice Cube could clear it up. And lo and behold, 3 or 4 days later, he cleared it up. So, but you need to check this out, man, because that interview broke the internet in just 5 days. When I checked earlier today, around about 4 or 5 hours ago, it was already at like 39 million views.
I saw someone on Twitter put that same interview where he talks about oh shit, I'm gonna have a blank now. It's just a trial. Jesus.
Johnny
Kang.
Depp?
No, Kang. Yeah. Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that next.
Okay,
But,
okay.
Yeah, but
I didn't see the clip, but I saw that he did talk about it. The title said something. He rips into Jonathan Majors or something like that. I read,
who?
but I don't know.
Cat Williams?
Yeah.
I think he said a little something. He was more on the comedians. He was more on like Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, Ricky Smiley, Cedric the Entertainer. He really get me on Cedric. He said that like before he really became big, Cedric stole a joke from his, and then they went back and showed it, and Cedric
really
stole the joke because he was talking about, if you ever watch Kings of Comedy, said does an end joke. We talking about if black people going to the moon, and instead of changing, Cat Williams' joke was a car. So he had the cigarette hanging in his mouth, the radio playing, and acting like he's backing up the car and all kinds of stuff, doing stuff over exaggerated like black people do sometimes. Okay. And then it's serious. If you watch it, then you'll understand. But then Cedric changed that from a car to a space shuttle, and was talking about how we were driving a space shuttle and doing it big and all kind of stuff and doing stuff. And when they show them comparable, about 4 or 5, maybe 6 years before Said did the joke on the Kings of Comedy tour, Cat Williams had already done the joke. Said just went, saw it, clip it, refresh it, but it's essentially the same joke.
Wow.
And Cat Williams went off on him, called him out on that. So my thing is, now
That's
Shannon
man's
Sharp
joke?
has been No, I mean, if you're gonna do it, man, say,
Prove
man,
on it.
can I do it, or
Yeah.
or can I change it up? Don't just take it and then
Yeah.
act like it's yours. I mean, to me, it's just crazy. I mean,
And now in today's world, especially now with social media and all that, like you get caught on that right away.
Or you can take a joke, but then change it up. I mean, because I when I do my The Road to Wisdom, I watch a lot of preachers and sermons and different things, and they may say a quote in their particular sermon. I may take that quote to be like the title of my show, but then I'll expand on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And put my own stuff on there.
Yeah.
But you can't look at somebody's whole sermon or interview or whatever and
regurgitate it for as you're doing it. Yeah.
No. But also, Shannon Sharp is receiving a lot of criticism. But Shannon Sharp said this, and I'm glad he said this. He said, "I'm not an interviewer." He said, "I'm a conversationalist. I never said I was an interviewer. I never said I'm coming here and do these hard-hitting questions." He said, "I provide a safe space for anybody that wants to come on my show and have a conversation." And that is how he titled that. He said, "My show is for good conversation." So a lot of times if you watch it, he let Cat talk a lot. And he said in one of his other shows he does with Chad Johnson, he said, "Man, I still had 20 to 25 more minutes of questions to ask Cat." He said, "But we already been on there 2 hours and 45 minutes. So could you imagine 3 hours and 30 minutes conversation?" But I watched just about all of it, maybe not all except the last 10 or 15 minutes. But anyway, Shannon Sharp has been receiving a lot of criticism from other people that have their own shows. In particular, Steven Jackson, who has his show on All That Smoke. He shares it with another former basketball player. I can't think of it. And today on one of the shows I watched, Dreamers Pro, I saw this just for the first time. Steven Jackson had a little bit of pushback to say, and I want to show that against the style of the way that Shannon Sharp allowed the interview to go. So bear with me while I pull it up.
Go ahead.
And here it is right here.
It's about a minute or so clip, 50-second clip, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to what Steven Jackson had to say here.
I already spoke on Cat. Cat a real one. He spoke his mind. Everybody should speak their mind. That's just what it is. I wouldn't let him go hard as he did on a lot of people on our show. I just wouldn't, because we got relations with him. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. You don't have a show, so you wouldn't know what you would do. We've done hundreds of shows. So we know how to handle that type of shit. The whole world talking about the Cat interview. The whole world. Everybody giving their opinions.
That's the world today.
But I can't speak on it because I'm so live. It ain't got nothing to do with you. Well, go on everybody else's page and tell them that too then.
So you heard what Steven Jackson had to say. First of all, let me say this. I think a lot of people immediately are going to say, this is jealousy, he is hating. We know this already. This is going to be the knee-jerk reaction, and I understand, and I can understand why. Because, like, bro, you're looking at what this guy just did. He's making history, and here you come saying this, right? So I can understand that, and I can understand why people are saying that. But here's the point I think Steven Jackson was trying to make. I think the point Steven Jackson was trying to make was this: push back on your guest. There are other interviews, and I'm not criticizing Shannon Sharp. I'm just trying to illustrate, I think, the point that Steven Jackson was trying to make. There have been other people that have interviewed strong, opinionated people where the interviewers have pushed back. And in the case of Shannon Sharp, Kevin Hart, I mean, at one point he was like on the 30-minute. He was spazzing off for like one segment. He was spazzing off for like 30 minutes straight. And Shannon wasn't pushing back on it.
That is Charles Abansi. His show is the Dreamers Pro Show. Awesome, man. This cat, he's going to be big. I follow him a lot in sports and stuff. And I just I'll give him a shout out, man. Awesome awesome cat, man. He knows what he's talking about. He's very strong-willed and opinionated too. And I pulled it up this afternoon, but I'm gonna push back on what he said. Shannon Sharp says that I'm not an interviewer. I'm not a journalist. I just got this own safe space, this own show, like we are. We're not journalists. I know I'm not, and I have a conversation. I present the information, and what Shannon did was come on there, let Cat come on there and speak his mind, and he did it. Whether or not you did it one way or would do it another way, I don't know, but it's very successful. 39 million views in 5 days is very, so he did something right. I don't know what so there's always going to be criticism in everything you do, but I have no problem with what Shannon Sharp said. And I don't know what Steven Jackson angle is. I mean, because him and his partner on All That Smoke, I don't think they never generated that kind of numbers. And they got a good show. I like what they do. I like their product. They have good chemistry. But I don't necessarily agree with his statements about what Shannon did. I mean, when you come on your show, you're going to let some people talk or you not. Shannon said in his interview that if he would let him talk, he don't think that he would have said as much as he would have said. And if you watch that 2 hour and 45-minute interview, it's very, very enlightening.
Conversation.
Conversation.
Yeah.
That's going on in Hollywood. There's a lot of craziness going on in Hollywood that may spill over into this Jonathan Majors topic we're going into next.
Because I know he talks about Jonathan Majors in that same interview.
But if you get a chance to watch it, it is must see TV if you care about that kind of stuff. Which when I first saw, I was like, wow. Now, last topic of the night, Jonathan Majors. In his issue with Grace Jabari, today he had an interview that I'm not sure what time it was early this morning with Lindsay.
American this morning or American AM or something?
It's on Good Morning America.
Good Morning America.
I think her name was Lindsay Davis. I think it is. I can hardly read my writing. And anyway, let me cue this up. That's her right there. No, you can't see her, but I can see her. Let me get where I can share this. Share screen. Boom. That's her right there, as you can see. And she's going to talk to Jonathan Majors. And in this, I want to kind of set it up. He says in this interview that as a younger man, he has considered and had thoughts about suicide in his past. But he has put in the work, and he's putting in the work, and now he's keeping those thoughts at bay. He also goes on further to say that he has seen domestic violence in his life, but he has never been a participant. He also says he was reckless. There's a question. He said, were you reckless with her? Because he was charged with reckless endangerment or reckless assault or something like that, which means it was not intentional. And his response is, I was reckless with her heart, not her body. And there is not a law where if you reckless with somebody's heart, you don't have being a butthole or being a bad boyfriend and that kind of stuff. It's not against the law. There's no crime. Right. He goes on further to say that he saw the red flags months ago, but he was afraid to say no because he says in this video that he loves her, that he loved her. He said he has suffered from severe depression as a child and has childhood trauma. He has admitted on this video that he was not the best boyfriend at times, but he never has ever hit a woman. And I believe what he said. He wants to work. There's a question where she asked, you want to work in Hollywood again? He said, yes, I would love to work in Hollywood again, and he is praying that he will. He said it's all in God's timing. And as I always say in my Road to Wisdom, God always teaches us and tests us. So this is a teachable and testing moment for Jonathan Majors if he is a believer, in my opinion. So we're going to go ahead and play this, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Of misdemeanor reckless assault and harassment just as
I don't see it, but I hear it.
Major says he always intended to take the witness stand, but didn't in the end because he felt the prior testimony was so compelling that there was nothing else for him to add. But now that the jury has spoken, he felt it was time to tell his story.
It has been very, very, very hard and very difficult and confusing in many ways.
Jonathan Majors breaking his silence just weeks after a Manhattan jury found him guilty of misdemeanor reckless assault and harassment of his ex-girlfriend Grace Jabari. The actor, at times emotional.
Sorry. You know, I haven't seen my daughter in a long time, you know, and a lot of it has to do with this situation.
In a split verdict, Majors was found not guilty of 2 other misdemeanors, assault with intent to cause physical injury and aggravated assault. They're saying you didn't intend
Right.
to injure her,
Right.
but the result of your recklessness
Right.
injured her.
Right.
Were you reckless?
I was reckless with her heart,
Not with her body.
not with her body.
The physical altercation started inside an SUV after Majors received a suggestive text message from another woman. Hours later, after Majors placed a 911 call, police found Jabari unconscious on the closet floor in their apartment, as seen in this body camera footage. You feel that you did anything wrong on the night of March 25th? If you could relive that night?
I wouldn't have picked her up. I wouldn't have picked her up. I wouldn't have put her back in the car. I wouldn't have tried to keep her in the car. I would have gotten out that car and ran immediately.
The two met back in 2021 on the set of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. The prosecution has described your relationship with Grace Jabari as tumultuous and abusive. How would you describe that 2-year relationship?
I loved Grace. Our relationship was not healthy, you know, and that began to reveal itself over time.
Why'd you stay?
I was scared. With the red flags, I found that, and I use this word, I said, oh, this is dangerous. This is months before the incident. I should have been brave. I should have said, no, this isn't working, and I should have walked away. And I didn't.
Troubling signs in the relationship were revealed when prosecutors presented text messages where Majors expressed suicidal thoughts, saying, maybe I'm such a monster and horrible man that I don't deserve it and should just kill myself. Were you suicidal?
The ideations of removing myself from situations permanently is a thought that I've had, since I was a kid, you know, since I was a young boy on the farm in Texas, you know, it's not there anymore. You know, I've done that. I'm doing the work to keep it at bay and make sure it's not there anymore.
Through it all, Major's new girlfriend, actress Megan Good, has remained by his side, even present for our interview. How would you describe your relationship?
She's an angel. She's held me down like a Coretta, you know. I'm so blessed to have her, you know. The relationship is still fresh, but, you know, I think I found her.
The March 2023 incident thrust Major's dating history into the forefront. A Rolling Stone article back in June detailed multiple allegations of abusive behavior dating back to Major's relationships in college, allegations Majors vehemently denies. His attorneys offered past partners to defend him. Have you ever had issues with domestic abuse?
I've witnessed it, but never participated, you know. I mean, I've been smacked up before, you know, but yeah, never exercised it. Those relationships went back to when I was 21, 22 years old, and I just think, was I a jerk? You know, was I, a mean guy? You know, and I go, yeah, knowing what I know now, like, oh.
Well, so he's saying, can you pause that, Kat? Can you pause it?
Trauma. I've had very few relationships.
So right there, he was saying that he was.
I can gather.
He was saying that he was he's seen domestic abuse, but he never participated.
Yeah, he said he's seen it. He never participated. He's been smacked up. He later goes on to say that.
Okay,
childhood.
okay.
So to me, it makes like because he was a bad boyfriend, maybe his girl friends in the
Smacked him.
past
Hit him.
smacked him. But he's going to say later on in the interview, I never laid hands on a woman before. I've never hit a woman
Gotcha.
before, because she's going to ask him those direct questions.
Severe depression, childhood trauma. I've had very few relationships, so I can gather what situations we're talking about. Yeah, I was not the best boyfriend all the time.
But never hit a woman.
Never hit a woman. My hands have never struck a woman, ever.
After gaining critical acclaim for films like The Last Black Man in San Francisco, Major's once red-hot career is now seemingly at a standstill.
And how are you feeling?
Moments after the verdict, Marvel Studios dropped him. He was set to play the prominent character Kang in upcoming films.
I am Kang!
But despite the possibility of serving time, Majors believes the script for his career is still being written.
You think you'll ever work in Hollywood again?
Yeah, I do. I pray I do. But it's God's plan and God's timing.
For those who say, look, he's convicted at this point, what would you say? I mean, do you deserve a second chance?
Well, I think I do. I hope other people think that.
During closing arguments, Jonathan Majors' attorney said...
And see, what is really a double-edged sword about this is a lot of people, because you're such a good actor, they don't know whether or not you're acting on the line on in these type of situations, or are you telling the truth.
I was gonna say that. That's the thing, right? When you're actors and he's up there and the tears and rubbing the eyes, is he being sincere? Is that really? Is it really that? You know?
And I think if you're a fan of the actor or actress, you're probably going to lean towards them telling the truth.
Biased,
if you're
yeah.
a cynic, there's going to be that bias in there. And based on what he's saying and how he's looking, and I've been in a position where I read people for a long time, it seems sincere to me. I don't know whether that's the bias, because I think he's a good actor and I'm pulling for him, but I don't see any indicators that he's being untruthful or duplicitous, or so I don't know. It's hard to say. It's something I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on, and
I think he's gonna definitely get back to Hollywood.
Yeah,
it's a question of time.
Yeah. I hope he's wise and with his money, man, and can survive that drop he's gonna have for a minute. You may have to go into making the B movies and stuff, like I've seen some actors and actresses do whenever.
Yeah, go to indie movies and stuff. Yeah,
and that kind of stuff. So I hope it's something that he can definitely learning experience. Like I always say, that if you watch my Road to Wisdom, man, I always say the 2 T's, man: testing and teaching. If you're a believer, even if you're not a believer, but especially if you're a believer and you think that life is always going to be peachy keen and looking through rose-petal glasses, you're fooling yourself, because you're always going to be tested, and those tests leads to lessons where you're testing and teaching. So
some of those lessons are rough.
Yep, some of them are very rough.
Yeah,
very, very rough. But one thing I would have done, I don't know whether or not it's something like an olive branch type of thing. I don't think I would have went to GMA. They're owned by ABC, and
which is
MCU is there in the same family. I don't know if I would have went to them after they fired me. I probably went somewhere more independent. I was watching Anzo, and Anzo said he'd have went to Club Shay Shay, which I think he sure would have been able to tell his truth the whole way. But did you happen to see the thing with Ryan Kennel talking about this?
No.
Anzo went in on him last night, buddy.
No,
Everybody go check out.
I don't follow that, so
I don't. Ryan Kennel. Ryan Kennel went in on this video today, man, and Anzo did a rebuttal on. Go to Biggaford Entertainment and check it out. It is fire. I listened to it after that work, and man, I was laughing and we were texting, and man, he goes in on it, but he makes very valid points. Very valid points. So. Ryan Kennel, I think he's one of the members of Geeks and Gamers, and For every point that Anzo made, man, he had a video to back it up and to show his point. So it looks.
Ryan Kendall rebutted to Anzo, or Anzo rebutted?
Anzo whatever point Anzo made about Ryan Kendall's points.
Okay.
Anzo made a video and the receipts to back up his particular point that he was making about Ryan Kendall and Jeremy. Those are two he was focusing on, and bro, it's on point.
Check
man.
it out.
I watched it. I was like,
Fire.
Yeah, it's fire.
The shots were fired. The shots were fired.
Shots were fired. Man down, man down.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'll definitely check that out.
Let me see.
Yeah, I don't like keep track with Ryan Kendall.
I don't either. But like I said, I was sitting with Link. I think Sonny said, "Man, I'm going to get this cat." And I was walking to church. And I said, "Man, I gotta go to." I said, "I'm walking to church, and I'll watch this afternoon." I didn't get a chance to watch it yesterday at all. I watched it today, and I was on the road listening to it at work, and man, it was good, very good. I admit, reckless is a pretty weak thing to charge someone with, almost like they are reaching. It is, man. The two charges that had intentional were dismissed, and one of them that they charged him guilty with is just a violation. It's not actually a crime. It's like a parking ticket. That's what it equates to, something similar to that. And then the one that they got him on was reckless assault, which means it was not intentional. And the example that Anzo gave was good. He said, "Look, I got an air conditioner in my car, in my window. I don't install it properly. Someone walks by, the air conditioner falls out and accidentally hits them. It's not murder, or it's not would be manslaughter or whatever the case. Well, it wouldn't be like assault or assault with a weapon, that kind of stuff. It would be reckless assault because they can't show intent. It was something that he didn't secure it properly, so he'd be held liable for it, but not nothing that is intentional. Like, I'm going to put this air conditioner in this window, and as soon as Guy Scar, the first person that walked by, I'm going to push it. They can't show that. They can't prove that. It was something that, look, man, I put it in there. I thought it was secure. I went to the bathroom. When I came back on the window, and it just so happened it hit a person walking by.
It must have been that.
Or hitting their foot or something.
It had to be that video of him grabbing her and putting her in the car that hurt him.
Must be what it was. But
because
he
there's nothing else
from her 6 blocks.
I know. After that.
6 blocks after that. And they didn't charge her. Well, they charged her, but she
wasn't charged
I think she was arrested, but she wasn't charged.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Media usually looking to stir controversy. That's true. To be honest, I don't really want to know about actors' personal lives. Well, I think
to an extent. Yeah.
You probably can count on the number of times I've talked about stuff like this, but there's sometimes things that hit kind of close to home or things that are interesting, and I think this need to be addressed. Those are one of those things. His best approach would be contrition, admit some level of fault or need for personal growth, then work his way back up. I don't know if I actually agree with that. But anyway, that is about an hour, 58 minutes and 25 seconds. And like I said, when I first heard, I was sitting in the office and I started coming up with these topics, man, and I saw some of these things. I said, I think that might be a pretty good topic to talk about. And it does kind of sort of relate to the MCU because he was going to be the next big bag, the next big bad, and the next phase in the MCU universe. And I'm going to probably miss that. And this is just me. This is Danny. I can't speak for anybody else, but I'm probably not going to give Marvel my money for as movies this next year. I'm not excited at all about Wolverine and Deadpool. I'm probably not going to see that. I'll probably wait and see when it comes out on Disney Plus or streaming service or catch a pirate ship. But I don't know. And last time I checked, there's nothing else coming out 2024. MCU,
that's the only Marvel movie coming out is that one. Besides
now,
whatever slated to come on.
Now,
Disney
2025, Captain America, The New World Order, I'm going to check that out because I think over then I'll probably be over my butt hurtness.
Apparently, that whole movie is going to be different. There's a bunch of reshoots, apparently.
Oh, I don't know, but hey, Sam Wilson, gotta support that, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. I get you.
But hey, thank you, Tony Brown. He said this is a great show, fellas. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coach Gabe said, did Michael Jackson really call Chris Tucker Christmas? Wow. Yeah, there's a stand up where Chris Tucker is talking about his friendship with Michael Jackson. He was like, he used to call me Christmas, Chris. Don't that sound so much better? You never seen that?
I did.
Oh, wow. Media usually look. I just watched Falcon Winter Soldier again. I really liked it. Yes,
Yeah,
that
man.
was good. That was one of the better Disney Plus shows.
Yep. There was some aspects of it that didn't, or like were dumb, but yeah, overall it was good.
Yeah.
Entertaining.
Tony Brown laughed. So, Mr. Gaskar, where can people find you at, good sir?
Hopefully you can find me on my channel, The Basco Scenario, on Wednesday, 8 p.m. alongside Danny here for the Hangout, and Sundays at 10 p.m. on Robert Storms Live. And also here every first Monday of the month on the Chaotic Conversation with Danny. So thank you for having me, man. It was fun. Too bad the guys couldn't make it.
Yeah. And I'm your host, Danny Graham. You can find me Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I deliver a word of the day, a quote of the day, and a scripture of the day. And I've called my little show The Road of Wisdom, where I try to give you spiritual inspiration and encouragement, and hope that it resonates and touch with some of these people out here that needs that kind of stuff in their life. Also, you can find me on Gaskar's show on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, The Hangout, with a group of fellows, man, that become very close. Also, you can find me on Mondays, usually the first, second, third Monday of the month. Here on Khaos Central, my show is Khaotic Conversations. Onzo is the Khaos List, and then Chris Knox is the Rule of Three. And then last but not least, Sundays, you can find me on Storms Live. I hope he would change the time. It used to be 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I think now he's trying to look at 7 or maybe 8, which would suit me just fine. I'd be like, thank you, Lordy. And sometimes when it's not hot, because I was on the show OOC, sometimes if I go on that show, I won't have a job, and I can't have that because some of those topics are radioactive. But when they're calm topics, I definitely go in there. I want to give a shout out to Onzo, Chris Knight, man. Sorry they couldn't be here, man. But sometimes the show must go on, and it went on today, man. We represent the Khaos Central well, and we will definitely be back next Tuesday if life lasts, the creek don't rise, and Onzo's feeling well and up to it. We'll be back with his show.
Yeah, health first.
Yep. So until then, let me see. Should I go out with an old one? No, because I'll probably get a strike. But I'm gonna go out with my outro intro. But until then, take it easy. Peace.
You know, about 2.5 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, me, Chris Knight, Onzo, Biggaford Entertainment, we all came together. 3 different cats, one vision to make Khaos Central the best YouTube channel on the planet. Here's one of our stories. Oh yeah, let's go.
Is there a mixtape?
Khaotic Conversation is the name of the show. The first Monday of the month is the time that I go on here and bring you the heat. I got your bob in your head. You're gonna hear it repeat and be like, hey yo, is that Danny? He's an X-Man now, cause that flow is uncanny. No, I'm just a topic debater. I'm just an intro maker. Ain't no one greater. It's Monday night. It's 9 o'clock. Sit back, relax. It's gonna get hot. So, without further ado, the conversation is ready. Let's make it do what it do. Peace. Khaos Central is the channel. Khaotic Conversation is the show. Come catch me, come and chat. Chris Knight and Onzo.